Hey guys, so I wanted to talk a little bit about pros and cons of being unattractive as a woman. So, firstly, I just want to say that overall, I'm 90% sure that most of the cons are just gonna be like being mistreated and things like that. So if that's triggering to you, I probably wouldn't watch this video. It might not be for you. So yeah, pros and cons of being unattractive as a woman. I guess, let's start off with the pros because I feel like that's a shorter list to get through and I could probably think of them all like right off the top of my head. So pro number one would probably be people don't really seem to bother you as much as like attractive women. Attractive women, it seems like on social media, get all of this attention, and if you're someone who's a little bit introverted, someone who's a little shy, doesn't like the spotlight, it's basically perfect because nobody's trying to break down your door to get to you. Nobody really cares about your existence, and you can just kind of like float through life without really having to live up to other people's expectations. Another one would probably be your parent doesn't try to put expectations on you to maintain beauty. Of course, there are parents who are going to put expectations on you no matter what, but if you're not a beautiful girl, sometimes your parents will kind of just, invest in your other qualities. As sad as it is, they'll invest in your other qualities and they'll tell you, oh, you're so smart, oh, you're so funny, oh, you're this, you're that, and it's kind of how you know that you're not a super attractive person is, your parents themselves will go out of their way to say things like that and to make looks not the center of your identity from a young age. And that's another thing, is your looks are not the center of your identity. If you're an unattractive woman, you get to be whoever you want to be, not who society wants you to be. And I feel like women who are not conventional are able to bust out of that mold more easily because they're not afraid of being judged anymore. I mean, we've all gone through, all of us unattractive people, we've all gone through that phase of wanting to be attractive and then, sort of caring and then not really caring, and then, it's like a back and forth almost. But then eventually you kind of just come to the conclusion that if I can't be what they want me to be, I might as well just be who I want to be. And so I would say that kind of concludes the pros for being unattractive. I know that some people would say, oh, well, unattractive women get harassed less. I don't know that that's entirely true. I know people who would consider themselves to be unconventional who get harassed and, nasty comments and things like that. So I just don't think that that's entirely true. I do think that people who, dress up more, who who want to be seen basically might get a little bit more harassment, but I don't know overall that it has to do with looks. I think it has to do with people just acting predatory towards women in general. And then I guess we're on to the cons. So, the cons of being unattractive as a woman, so many. So many. So, I come to find that people ignore you a lot more than if you were pretty. Of course, you know, pretty people have their own issues that I can't really speak on, but I've noticed that if you're an unattractive woman, men in particular, I feel like women too, but men in particular, almost act like you don't exist. Like, they almost act as if you're part of like this scenery, like you're literally a plant or something, and they just like walk past you and don't even bother to like say hi. Like, I've been in groups before where I've like been talking and they'll just talk over me. And it's a little bit traumatizing because I'm just like, okay, well, I guess what I'm saying doesn't matter because of how I look, I guess, you know. And for a while I thought, hey, maybe it's just because I'm a little bit awkward, maybe it's just because like I'm too quiet, and so I would try to speak up, I would try to be a little bit more, you know, forthcoming, and it just wasn't working. I realized when I would see how, you know, attractive people are treated, that the way that I was treated was very different. Very, very different from how they were treated. So yeah, you're treated like you don't exist, basically. Another con would probably be that you're treated badly. I know people who were bullied, called names growing up, by attractive people, and then people who are super insecure, who pick on those who can't defend themselves and things like that. So you're honestly a target when you're unattractive, because especially if you're insecure, people will sense that, and then they'll point out your flaws. Oh, you know, you're thin. Oh, you know, you're fat. Oh, you know, there's something wrong with your teeth. There's something wrong with your forehead. Blah, blah, blah. On and on and on. And it's horrible to go through as a kid. It's bad even as an adult when you see other adults commenting on other people's looks. Another con, I'm trying to think. I'm doing this off the top of my head, like I wrote down some notes, but I'm doing this mostly off of trying to remember what I wrote down. Another con would probably be just, you know, in general, apparently women who are unattractive don't get great positions in the workplace, which that kind of came as a surprise to me, because I thought in my mind, I was like, oh, well, you know, they are perceived as smarter because they're not like super hot or whatever. Apparently not. Apparently they get passed over a lot for people who are more attractive, and that to me is really ridiculous. I don't really have a lot of data or anything on that I can share, but all I know is that even so, I do believe that it happens, because I have seen people get a lot of recognition at jobs just because of their face. Just because of their face, basically. So yeah, the whole workplace thing is a big deal to me anyway. I think it's pretty ridiculous. I don't understand how employers could justify it, but I think it's a subconscious thing overall. I don't know that they are consciously picking people just because they're hot. I think it just goes to show that being attractive can get you a lot of things in life, and that's another con of being unattractive. When you are unattractive, you don't get those benefits. You don't get free drinks. You don't get, you know, doors held open for you. You don't get free things or dates all the time. You might get laid every once in a while when someone wants to pity bang you. But overall, it's just a con, I would say, because people, they look at you as if there's something wrong with you, that you have caused this to yourself. You have done something to hurt yourself in a way that's made you ugly, or that you were born a certain way and that it's your fault. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. I will never understand how people could go out of their way to mistreat someone just based off of their looks. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So yeah, kind of a lot to take in. pros and cons of being an unattractive woman. Yeah, honestly, I've experienced a lot of just generally, like bullying and stuff like that. So I understand how it feels to feel like the world is against you based off of just how you look. And we live in a very lookist society. It really doesn't even matter where you're from, because every single community, I feel like, on Earth is lookist in some way or another. And it sucks, you know? But that's what we have to deal with. That's just how it is. We've got to cope with it. There's not, honestly, a lot that we can do aside from comfort each other and spread the message about it, and that's what I'm trying to do.